and welcome everybody. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Welcome to the December 3rd, 2025 regular Township Trustees meeting at 6:30 p.m. Mrs. Johnson, please call the quorum roll call, please.
Mr. Rowe?
Here.
Mr. Bachman?
Here.
Mr. Johnson?
Here. There is a quorum present. You all had an opportunity to review the agendas. Are there any additions, changes? Hearing none, the agenda stands as written. First will be the approval of previous meeting minutes. I'm assuming you both have had the opportunity to review the minutes. There are two sets? Three sets. Are there any changes or additions to the minutes? Hearing none, those will stand approved as written. Presentation of the warrants and treasury report. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the warrants and treasury report. Mr. Rowe, would you like to make that?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Johnson, would you like to second?
I will.
Mr. Rose made the motion to approve the warrants and treasury report. Mr. Johnson seconded. Mr. Rowe, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson, how do you vote?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. The warrants and treasury report are passed. Fire Department report, Chief Triana, if you please, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Fire and EMS runs from November 1 through November 30th. Had 47 EMS runs, 11 car crashes. 7 of those involved car versus deer. The rut was on. Smoke detector activation 1. Trees and power lines down 2. Year to date, we're at 626 for fire and EMS runs. All November fire EMS runs are completed, been sent to the state. I've been reviewing the truck discrepancy listings out of, from Atlantic Emergency. We had many small items that have been addressed. We're still addressing others. However, we will need to replace steer tires on both engines, the rescue and the tanker. And I'll get pricing over the next few weeks for that. That's a Class B inspection, NFPA, so that's a must. The iPad that we purchased from University Hospital did arrive today. It's in service in Squad 813. The old department iPad is now in the chief's vehicle. I did send the squad out, I told you at the last meeting, to 812. 2 Norwalk truck 2 weeks ago for lack of power issues. They did install a new actuator, a turbo, wiring harness, and after they put that all in, ran some more diagnostics. It also needed a oxygen sensor, which was installed, so that will be reflected on the billing as additional cost. Truck is now back and will be the first out the door during December. And then lastly, I would like to congratulate firefighter Michael Dodds and firefighter Dylan Willard. Both recently passed their National Registry Board test for paramedic EMS.
Yay.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone, please. Any questions for the chief?
No.
One real quick one, Chief. Day before yesterday was a crash on Darrow Road, closed the road.
Which road?
Darrow.
Yeah,
Was that a deer crash or was that something else?
no, that was,
Cause I haven't heard anything on it, I just knew.
yeah, no, that was a young lady that just lost control.
Oh, okay.
So,
That's all I got. All right.
that curve is notorious.
It is.
Of course, then I started texting Steve in the middle of the night to get him to come over that way when we were done. Got it all salted down and plowed out, so.
Good job, guys. Next is the road department report. Mr. Young, if you please.
All the trucks have been fluid tuned. We're working on removing leaves from ditches. Once again, residents like to, a couple of them like to just blow them in there, think that we're lawn service. So please do not put leaves in ditches. It's that time of year to discuss year-end reviews with the trustees. I'm getting a quote on the storage tank for the dirt patcher emulsion. It has to be recoated and the agitator repaired. I'm not sure yet. They're working on it. I think we might have to have it sent to the company that does it. Because the coating on the outside is like spray foam. So it's we've had that for 20-some years, so it's got some wear on it, if water gets in there, it'll rust the tank out. You can ask the city, cause theirs rusted out, and it was $65,000 for a new tank. So, getting a quote on that. First snow, got people crowding us, so please don't crowd us when we're in the intersections especially. I had 2 incidents the other night. We need to replace the stick welder that is about 67 years old with a combo welder, MIG, TIG, and stick. That's on it. So we're looking at a few $1,000 for that. That's all I got for that. For that, I have for each trustee projects and equipment report for 2026. This is just a start. And I have current road department equipment, ages, what I suggest we do in the near future on 4 of them. And I got 4 things I think we should need to sell because we no longer use them. We haven't used them for years.
Okay.
I got pictures of them, so maybe Joe could put these on. Whatever.
I know we do the .gov thing.
Yeah, whatever. I think Joe's got something.
Yeah.
I got pictures, so if you need some more, that's one there. And Joe gets one. Stephanie already has one. So that's all I got. So just review all that. If you got any questions on those projects, give me a call or stop the garage. I can explain, cause on some of those drainage projects, I'd like to see all 3 trustees and administrator come out, so me and Ryan can explain to you why we were looking at these projects.
Right.
That way everybody's we're gonna be on the same page, not one person, because the next person's changes every time it goes down the line.
Communication is key to making any project successful. Can't forget that. You mentioned the dirt patcher needing repairs.
It's the tank,
The
the
tank.
storage tank.
What are we looking at roughly?
He hasn't-
10,000?
I don't think it's gonna be that much. He hasn't given me. Do have one other thing on repairs. We used the crack sealer, most, on and off all summer.
Mm-hmm.
And we found some areas that we had missed, so we fired it back up. And for some reason, we have a problem with the hydraulic fluid foaming on it, and I can't figure it out. I changed the oil, cause I thought the oil was bad, changed the filler, one guy said it had water in it, it didn't have water in it. So I don't know if the pump on the machine is bad and it's just forcing air through it or what. Instead it just foams like instantly,
Right.
like overflow.
Can we physically take that out somewhere and have it?
I can call around, but I got another option I'm gonna look at. Sealmaster and Sandusky, if you buy, don't have to quote me on how many
Right.
pallets, if you buy a few pallets of it, they will let you use one of their machines for free. But I don't know how long they let you have it.
Right.
So if we were gonna do extensive crack seal, I don't know if we can get it that long.
Okay. I would suggest
I'm gonna call the guy and ask him how long we can have it.
it's the right time of year to do that kind of research. and bring it
Yeah,
back to
so,
us.
so if that's the case, not saying have to, it might be worth our while, cause that machine, it's on the list, I don't know what year it is, I think it's something. Believe me, it's a maintenance
Right.
nightmare, cause I've had to change, so when that stuff comes out of that wand, the pump is inside the tank. So I don't know what year it was, it's been a little while ago, it was before Tom got here. Right before he got here, I had to go inside that tank and change that pump, and it's not a fun job. It's just something to see how that, I'll call the guy this winter at Sealmaster and see how that program works.
That sounds like a doable thing. I don't think you guys have any objection to that, do you?
No.
Okay, let's make it happen, Steve. All right, anything else for Mr. Young?
I got just a couple things.
Mr. Rowe?
Steve, I appreciate your email about the, warrant,
Grants?
grants.
that somebody sent me that.
Yeah, I realize that was actually pretty interesting. You guys all got that. What do you think about that?
I think there's a lot of them out there that are all offering, they're like door-to-door salesmen.
I was like, here you go.
So,
Thanks for passing that on.
yeah. Some of them I've looked at, some of them, it's obvious, you know, they say, if you're council or and they don't understand township government, so I kind of pass on those, but some of them are worth a read.
Yeah.
So, if you're got insomnia, I recommend those to get started, so.
The second thing I have for Steve. Steve, on here you talk about the purchase of the John Deere 85 excavator. Is that the excavator that the ditch was dug out on? One of the questions I have, Steve, is that piece of equipment, I think it'll be pretty successful for the road crew. Do you feel the same?
Yes, cause there's like, it'd be a lot easier to clean, so with the backhoe we have currently, we would never be able to clean it.
Right.
We can't clean either that big ditch on, Cohen. We can't clean the one
Or
Kneisel back here. We can't. clean
Holiday's
it.
the one you just cleaned, right?
Yeah, Holiday, we clean that. We wouldn't be able to clean that either. So these
Right.
other three, and then where the overpasses meet the highway, we can't get down there with that backhoe because of we have to put it down like this, and then if we're dipping, we can only go to the left or to the right to load. Where that, you can swing around.
180.
Yeah.
We can develop a resolution for the first of the year to do that.
Yeah, just get the quote,
Yeah, Joe's good.
Yeah.
the who, what, where, when, why, how, and how
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
And then we gotta run it through our fiscal.
Of course, yeah.
Make sure those
It'll be
funds are
next year.
appropriated for next year.
Yeah.
So. Anything else?
Thanks, Steve. Thank you.
Okay, hearing nothing else, we'll go on to the Township Administrator and Zoning Report, Mr. Baxter, if you please.
Zoning Department report for 11/20 to December 3rd. We've issued 2 permits totaling $525. I continue to work on our updated resolution book and ArcGIS programs. I currently have several cases of complaints that I'm looking into of various degrees. And that is the zoning report. The administrator report for the same time period. Currently reviewing and rewriting job descriptions and classifications for personnel. The current position and its duties need to be addressed. The Ohio Revised Code spells out the administrative duties and responsibilities very clearly for the township with very explicit intent of how the position is to be utilized. I would strongly recommend we do the same. It's simple. You own a professional sports team. Owners don't manage the team. They hire a manager to do what is needed. In this way, there's no confusion as to what is expected. If the team fails, then you find another manager. You can't let everyone do whatever they want thinking you are working towards a common goal. The Vermilion Township Building Department is coming along nicely. I'm excited about this and for the residents. It's time to flourish as a township and grow responsibly towards tomorrow. The city has produced a document stating they get 90 days before they will allow us to have our building department back. I understand all the pieces and players involved. I believe wholeheartedly the city will sit down and discuss this further. Logistically, it makes sense to start a new year with all these things in place. Coming at this from the best business sense for all parties to adjust their budgets and manpower accordingly to start 2026 off right. Excuse me. Cybersecurity plan needs to be implemented, and I'm shopping around for security IT company all in one. In looking at these companies and understanding which is going to be the best, I found a certification called TWIC, a Transportation Worker Identification Credential. Is a tamper-resistant ID card that grants unescorted access to secure areas of maritime facilities and vessels in the United States. The Department of Homeland Security issues these and performs an extensive background check to assess security threats. My personal belief, you can never be too careful, and when it comes to private information, we should never waver in security when it comes to the township. Brightspeed is still a no-show to the table. I have spoken with a third-party vendor who works for Brightspeed, not employed by them, today, that is hopefully going to help. As of right now, it is no different than 2 months ago. We are no closer to a solution and or being made whole. North Risden Road Overlay Project. I spoke with Mr. Gary Musto at 21 Overlook Drive, Orchard Beach. He is not okay with the water and or potential flooding. When I asked if he would sign a letter saying it was okay, he had different ideas. I'm going to ask the engineer's office to check grade and see what their take is on the lack of drainage. Not just a visual, but take numbers so we know. I think there must have been some confusion between myself and the engineer's office about what I was looking for. I know they did an overlay. That was not my question. I need grades. This concludes my report.
Any questions for Mr. Baxter? Joe, do we have a letter prepared for Mrs. Dickel?
I am still working on the violations for the junk cars at the home that she talked about.
Okay.
The Barnes Road, the north end. If you want to see that different, then the resolution book needs to be updated so the language is different for additions. I can't control that.
Okay.
The other one, I need legal on. So when we get a prosecutor, I will move forward.
Okay.
All right.
I anticipate, or you anticipate, or we both anticipate that'll be by the first of the year?
Yes.
Okay. Hope that answers your questions here.
So I'm hoping by the end of the week.
Let us know. All right, anything else from Mr. Baxter? Hearing none, moving on to the fiscal officer's report. Mrs. Johnson, if you please.
Okay, all I have, is I emailed the three of you, the AMVets, needs a, reapproval for their liquor license. And so I just need a motion, that needs to say the, township and the trustees are not requesting a hearing, to reapprove their liquor license. So that is all I need with that. And then, this just came across email this morning, for, I want to pass it down, please, for the, engineer, Erie County engineer and, township trustee meeting tomorrow. The location has been changed. And, they did email, but they've been getting a lot of questions as to exactly where it is, so they
Yeah, I've got
re-emailed that, so I just wanted to bring that to your attention if you wanted to make an announcement again about the proper
It's
location.
down on my agenda here.
Okay, okay, very good. Okay, that's all I need is just that motion for the liquor license for AMVets.
Okay. As I am a life member of AMVets, I'm gonna abstain from doing that, so if you two wanna make the motions and vote on it, do you wanna make that motion?
Yes, I make that motion.
You gotta state it.
Yep, Stephanie, exactly what's the verbiage on that?
The township trustees do not request a hearing in regards to their liquor license.
Make a motion that the township trustees do not require a hearing.
I second that.
Mr. Rose made the motion, Mr. Johnson second. Any further discussion?
None.
Hearing none, I'll call roll call on this. Mr. Rowe, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I, of course, will abstain. The motion passes.
Thank you.
The next we have is the resolutions submitted for formal approval. First one up is resolution number 2025-25, a resolution prohibiting parking during the months of November through April and authorizing the chairman of the board of trustees to have the authority to declare a snow emergency and parking ban under certain circumstances for a period of 6 months effective beginning November 1st and ending April 30th of each year, hereafter to be known as the winter subdivision parking ban. Mr. Brockman introduced the following resolution to move for its adoption. Whereas the Board of Trustees of Vermilion Township have determined that the public safety and welfare of the township residents will be served by regulation limiting parking on township roads within any subdivision during the months of November through April of each year when snow and ice normally occur, so that the township roads can be kept clean of snow and ice and passable for emergency vehicles and the general public. Whereas heavy snowfall and hazardous icy road conditions often necessitate a declaration of emergency and the prohibition of parking on township roads so that the snow and ice might be cleared from the township roads. Whereas ORC 50517 authorizes the Board of Vermilion Township Trustees to issue parking regulations and snow emergency authorization. Therefore be it resolved that any time snow accumulates on township roads in excess of 2 inches or icy and hazardous conditions exist because of freezing rain within any 24-hour period, the chairman of the Board of Trustees of Vermilion Township is authorized to declare a snow emergency prohibiting parking on any township subdivision roads during the snow emergency. Such roads include Cabernet, Chardonnay, Colonial Court, Daylon Court, Hickory Drive, Sassafras Drive, and Wine Street. The issuance of declaration shall declare the duration of the emergency and shall become effective 2 hours after the chairman of the board makes the announcement of the snow and hazardous ice emergency to any local news media outlet or upon the township official website. Be it further resolved by the Vermilion Township Board of Trustees, Erie County, State of Ohio, the chairman of the board, in consultation with the road department supervisor, may issue such a declaration up to 12 hours in advance of a pending or anticipated major weather event, and that where the Erie County Sheriff declares a level 2 or higher road conditions event, that the chairman shall then automatically issue a declaration to activate the subdivision parking ban as indicated above, if not already in effect. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution shall be posted in the township by the township fiscal officer in 2 conspicuous places in the township and on the township official website for 30 days before becoming effective. Be it further resolved, the provisions of this resolution shall not become effective until permanent signs giving notice that parking is limited during the affected months during the snow emergency are posted in accordance with any applicable standards adopted by the State Department of Transportation along with the township roads affected by this resolution. That the board hereby finds in terms that all formal actions relative to the adoption of this resolution were taken in an open meeting of the board and that the deliberations of the board. Please silence your phones. Oh, yelling at my own. We're taken in a meeting open to the public in full compliance with legal requirements including 12122 of the Ohio Revised Code. Mr. Rowe, would you like to second this resolution?
I second that resolution.
Okay, we have a resolution and a second. Basically, in conversations with Steve and Sheriff Sigsworth dug up Huron Township's resolution for parking. We basically copied and pasted everything that Huron and updated it to include the website language and icy road conditions for like when we have sleet and ice rains. So this is not something totally new and radical, and it's, like I said, just a copy of what Huron Township does already. And the sheriff said it's been enforced since the 1990s, and they've never had a problem with enforcing it. So we figured, why not go with what works? So that's all I got to comment on that. Any other comments?
None.
Okay.
The residents are very happy in some of those areas.
Yeah. And Steve, I understand we have all the signs necessary, we just don't put them up. We have to make,
We'll have to get some more.
Okay.
I think 5.
all right.
For like, Sassafras, Hickory,
Daylon.
Daylon, and,
Colonial. If there's no further discussion, I'll call the roll on that. Mr. Rowe? How do you
Yes.
vote? Mr. Johnson, how do you vote?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. Resolution 2025 is passed. One guy.
Motion to approve, yes, and sign for those extra parking signs.
Resolution authorizing the Vermilion 2025-26. A resolution authorizing the Vermilion Township to enter a contract with Ohio Tree and Excavating for additional tree and landscaping maintenance of the Cutterback Orchard Beach Cemetery. Mr. Roger moves the following resolution to and move for its adoption. Whereas Vermilion Township trustees are statutorily required to maintain cemeteries within Vermilion Township per ORC 51711, which states in part the Board of Township Trustees shall provide for the protection and preservation of cemeteries under its jurisdiction. Now therefore be it resolved by the Vermilion Township Board of Trustees, Erie County, Ohio, to approve authorized contract with Ohio Tree and Excavating 12212 Bellamy Road, Berlin Heights, Ohio 44814 at a cost not to exceed $10,600 for additional tree removals and appropriate landscaping services upon the site Cutterback Orchard Beach Cemetery, a 1 acre site, parcel number 12-63002.000, the legal description being 3-9 Orchard Beach Cemetery 1A. And further be it resolved that no work shall be performed until such time as all required bond certificates and other instruments required by the fiscal officer presented as current and on file with the Vermilion Township, and that final payment will be only after a statement of satisfactory completion is executed by the township administrator. And further be it resolved that the Board of Township Trustees directs the Township Administrator to require all debris created and found to be present upon said parcel and cemetery lot to be removed by Ohio Train Excavating prior to final authorization of payment for this contract, and that no additional cost will be paid above the agreed upon amount without additional and formal approval by resolution of the Board of Township Trustees. That this board hereby finds and determines that all formal actions relative to the option of this resolution was made in an open meeting of the board, and that the deliberations of this board which results in formal action were taken in meetings open to the public in full compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121-22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Mr. Rowe, would you like to second this resolution as well?
I'll second that with discussion.
Yes. Discussion, go ahead, Mr. Rowe.
I'll take that if that's all right, Mr. Rowe.
Okay,
Have we gotten other estimates for this job?
I don't think so.
Not to be honest, but we have been, Joe, we've been using Ohio Tree pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have, in this, when we were going through, we removed all of the trees that we originally wanted to take out, but then, after we got done with that, there was a couple clusters of trees that I was hoping we'd be able to leave, but the way they are currently designed, built, shaped, living, where they join together, they're rotting out basically in the crotches of the trees. So they're going to fall down eventually, so we saw it best to just go ahead and get them done before we plant grass in there and then have to come back and tear it all back up again. So this is where I haven't given you an estimate on those.
I have been on the site, I'm aware of the trees that Mr. Baxter was talking about. My personal, thoughts are, I'd like to get 2 more estimates before we go doing this. This may be the best price, but, proper procedure is we get 2 more estimates done on this before we do it. Them doing it in, next year isn't gonna be an issue. Sometimes they prefer dropping them when the ground's frozen anyways. So I'm asking that we get 2 more estimates before we go, accepting this, money.
Okay.
My concern is, I would like to have at least a couple more estimates. I have been out to the cemetery, also coming back to see, and Joe's exactly right, and so is Kurt. I don't know if you've been out there or not, Ken, but have you been out there? They're monsters. One tree's monstrous. It's scary looking, but it's gonna come down, and that's pricey just to take that down. And in fairness, they have given us the best price so far. I would just like, on due diligence, get a couple more estimates and then move forward with it. I'm sure they'll probably be the lowest anyway. So
Time is not a critical factor.
No, sir, it's not.
Steve, did you?
Yeah, is that on top of what we already paid?
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
This is additional tree removal work.
I'm trying to get that thing for the county engineer up at first. We got that list of stuff we got to tell them when we contracted out.
Okay.
So I just wanna make sure that's on top of that.
Joe, I wouldn't mind having an estimate, or you did give us an estimate from the previous stuff.
Yeah.
I kinda wanna know exactly what they were supposed to do at the job site, cause I thought under discussion that when we were out there before walking, even when I was out there with you guys, we were kinda clustering some trees, and I just wanted to make sure it's apples to apples, so I wanna make sure they did the first part of the job they were supposed to as well.
Well, yeah, they did, and they were, a lot less than,
Agreed. No argument on that, they were considerably less.
Yeah.
I just wanna make sure we're getting
right.
what we said we were getting. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to table resolution 2025-26 at this time.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we table this,
Okay.
resolution 2025-26.
And is there a second?
Yes, sir, there is.
Mr. Johnson has made the second to Mr. Rowe's motion to table resolution 2025-22. Any further discussion?
None.
All in favor of tabling, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion, resolution 2025-26 is tabled. Hopefully till next month. Next one. Resolution 2025-27, resolution authorizing the Vermilion Township to enter into a contract with Safe Harbor Security and Fire LLC to upgrade and, where necessary, install new security camera system within the administrative areas of the Township Hall. Mr. Bachman introduced the following resolution and moved for its adoption, whereas the Vermilion Township trustees are statutorily required to maintain safety and security of the Township hall, and in conducting of meetings in accordance with 50509, now therefore be it resolved by the Vermilion Township Board of Trustees, Erie County, State of Ohio, approves and authorizes a contract with Safe Harbor Security and Fire LLC, 3812 Liberty Avenue, Vermilion, Ohio, 44089, at a cost not to exceed $4,725 for upgrades where necessary replacement of the existing security camera system for the portion of the building and exterior areas that are not part of the Vermilion Township Fire Department. And further be it resolved that no work shall be performed until such time as all required bond certificates and other instruments are paid by the fiscal officer and presented as current and on file with the township, Vermilion Township, and that final payments will be made only after statements of satisfactory completion is executed by the township administrator. And further be it resolved that the Board of Township Trustees directs that the township administrator is required to inspect and approve all work necessary to upgrade and separate the existing fire department security camera system, which shall remain intact within its current location, from the new system at no additional cost, and will be made without additional cost and formal approval by resolution and by the Board of Township Trustees. That this board hereby finds and determines that all formal actions relative to the adoption of the resolution was made in an open meeting of the board, and that all deliberations of the board, which resulted in formal action, were taken in meetings open to the public in full compliance with legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Mr. Rowe, would you like to second this resolution?
I second this resolution with discussion.
All right, discussion. I do have the copy of the estimate. This was the long, Stephanie's had this conversation with John Gomez for a long, long time. That copy. And he basically just finally got us the, you've seen it, right?
Yeah, it is.
Handed off to you. There's one to just move cables and move the, I don't want to call it the CPU, but the recording unit into a room that's air conditioned.
Right.
And the other one, the bottom, was to put in a better, newer system on this side of the building and split the two so that they're independent of each other. Because I do believe, for me, I believe that the chief should have control of the cameras in his side of the building. Because if there's issues that he needs to investigate and review, we don't need to see it until he's ready to tell us about it. It's that simple for me. So, but please go ahead.
I've just seen the numbers from Safe Harbor. I guess you must have just
Yeah.
got those.
Yeah, John just got it like a day ago, so.
Back in the midsummer, we had Tim's business, Accurate Business Machine here. And we talked about moving the server because it was in the firehouse where it's very hot in that closet. We talked about moving it into the trustee office, and he'd given us a price for that. And so I would like to have a comparison from them, apples to apples, just to see what they would offer as well. They're the ones that installed the cameras and all that, if I understand that correctly.
They sold us the camera
Yeah,
themselves.
yes. So, I would like to see, other estimates.
Again, I stand on the same line. We're dealing with one number. I'd like to start bringing some other competitive pricing in. See what we got. This may be the best price. Again, I'm happy to see it come across the board if it is.
Right.
We've been waiting this long. We can wait a little bit longer. I want to know what Accurate is going to give us, and if we can find another one, or we can have our administrator see if we can find another company to also come in and give us a good quote.
Okay. My only problem with another company is John currently provides us with the technical support every time we have an issue with something going down. He's our go-to guy. I personally would rather have the guy that's gonna be servicing the equipment be the one who's installing the equipment. I'm not objecting to getting other quotes, but the ones that put these cameras in literally just sold us the cameras and said, you're on your own, and left without any other tech support or anything like that. And I know months back, when our fiscal officer had an issue, she had a hard time even getting a hold of them to get that information about the cameras. So, for that reason, I'd like to go with the person who services our cameras now to upgrade the system. But, like I said, if you guys want to, I will entertain a motion to table this resolution as well.
I think the people that might have sold the cameras in the first place,
That's the ones he's talking about.
yeah, the ones that are have been up here, they were here before I think any of us were here. So I would question that it was probably not followed through very well on the previous staff. That should have been a little bit more detail on how it was gonna happen. The installation, they probably should have looked into it a little deeper and saying,
Yeah, there was no service contract. It
Right,
was,
well,
here's the cameras, they're for sale.
there you go,
We put
that's
them in.
something that probably should have been addressed.
Yeah.
not always, huh? Yeah, as we're in the fishbowl,
So, yeah, we have a camera that
yeah,
I guess works.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It's a
Makes-
fisheye, because
Yeah.
this one,
Makes
Well,
your
you
head
know,
look this
yeah.
big,
yeah.
and that's great,
So,
yeah, it's all ego driven. Yeah, I'm for getting more quotes.
so you wanna make a motion to table? this
I will
resolution?
motion to table this.
Mr. Rowe, would like to second?
I'll second.
Mr. Johnson's made a motion to table resolution 2025-27. Mr. Rowe seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. This one is tabled as well.
I'm on fire.
Alright. Now, before I read this long one, this is the resolution 2025-28. The resolution declaring the necessity to levy a tax in excess of 10 mil limitation on the question of the replacement of the existing tax of 1 65/100 mil with a tax of 3 65/100 mil in excess of the 10 mil limitations, which would be a replacement with an additional increase of 2 mil and pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code 5705-19-I for the purpose and provision and maintenance of the fire protection services, personnel, fire and apparatus, appliances, buildings, sites, and for the purpose of providing full-time emergency medical services within the Vermilion Township Fire Department. Revised Code 570503, 5705-191, 5705-192, and 5705.25. This is a clone of the previous resolution of necessity. To get a issue on the ballot, we have to put two resolutions forward. First, the resolution of necessity of the auditor, then when the numbers come back, we put a resolution to put it on the ballot. Before I read all 4 pages of this, this is just the same as the one before, except instead of 3.35, the number is reduced to 2. Is this something we would be interested in moving forward with tonight? Either? So we're not interested in moving forward tonight?
I personally need to get a little more information, talk with the chief,
Okay,
just for the numbers' sake, to see.
all right.
I've been in discussion with chief and we're still in discussion.
I'm
Uh,
fine with this. Like I said, this is just the
Yeah,
I
numbers
want,
set
I
up
want,
to
I want to
go.
sit down with chief.
Yeah, we still have time.
Yeah, we need to sit down with,
We have
A whole lot of
till
budgetary
February to
stuff.
get this
Right.
to the next ballot.
Yeah.
But again, this is the first of 2, and they're about a month apart. So
Yes.
if we do it in December, January is the next one, and February is the deadline. So I don't have a problem waiting either. So with that, the chair will entertain a motion to table resolution 2025-28.
Make a motion that we table resolution 2025-28.
Is there a second, Mr. Johnson?
there is, sir.
Mr. Johnson is second. Mr. Rowe has made a motion to table resolution 2025-28. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, that one's tabled as well. We got 1 of 4. Nothing wrong with that. Next on the agenda is executive session. Motion going to executive session under ORC 121-22G1 to discuss personnel issues currently under review. This will be conducted after new business. The chair will entertain such a motion at this time.
I actually would like to say something in regards to, I don't know if it's new business, but it's something I wanted to, speak about. Something we should have done last, meeting was, I wanted to thank Mr. Dean for his service with the township, everything he did with the association, and, his asset to the township was fantastic, and his year serving us was, spot on. Thank you.
Okay.
I make a motion that we go into executive session, according to ORC 121-22G1 to discuss personal issues currently under review.
Is there a second, Mr. Goode?
There is, sir.
There is a motion and a second to go into executive session under ORC 121-22G1 to discuss personal issues under current review. This will occur after new business. I will call the roll. Mr. Rowe, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson, how do you vote?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. We will do this after new business, so we'll put on that.
Thank you. Jumped the broom on that one.
Yes, you did a little bit.
That's all right.
That's okay. We'll get
It
to
was
it.
on my
Get to
mind.
new business.
Don't care.
Motion to go into executive session 121, executive session ORC 121-22G1 to discuss personal issues currently under review. Bachman, this is separate from the one we just did. This will occur at the Erie County Prosecutor's Office tomorrow with Prosecutor Kevin Baxter in attendance. By way of recessing our meeting instead of adjourning our meeting, we can leave here tonight, go into executive session, and then we can come back for 2 minutes and adjourn tomorrow. So, the chair will entertain that motion as well. Mr. Rowe?
I make a motion that we go into executive session, by ORC 121-22G1 to discuss personnel issues currently under review. The meeting will be at the Erie County Prosecutor's Office on December 4th with Prosecutor Kevin Baxter in attendance.
Is there a second, Mr. Johnson?
There is.
Mr. Rowe's made the motion, Mr. Johnson has seconded. I will call the roll at this time. Mr. Rowe, how do you vote? Oh, any discussion?
No.
No,
Okay.
sir.
I pretty much explained it,
Yeah.
so. Mr. Rowe, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson, how do you vote?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. Correspondence submitted to the Board of Trustees, we have 3 emails that, one is from Kevin Cannon on the the Planning Authority. They sent you all emails, I know I'm assuming you guys got yours too.
Yes.
About doing traffic counts on the roads. I did add Haver Road.
Yeah.
If we're ever gonna repave Haver Road, we need current traffic counts.
Agreed.
I would suggest that if either of you have other roads that you want traffic counts, that you would email him and let him know. They'll put it on the list, we don't need to do any formal action, but it's basically what we tell them, but that deadline is the 12th of December. So, gravel storage on South Cherry Road, got a email string from the engineer's office to have Evergreen store the gravel. I called Steve on this. They're gonna store the gravel for the South Cherry Road project on that property. And then the last one is the emails concerning the building department transfer. We got a letter from Mayor Forthover, a copy of the contract. So we have all those, and Stephanie will have those on file. Let's see, open to the audience, public commentary, if somebody would be so good as to hand me the sign-in sheet. All right, Martha Dickel, you're first on the list. You can stay seated if you'd like to ask some
Oh boy,
questions.
my heart just pumps when I have to do this in front of everyone.
Take your time.
Number one. I saw the video and of the dispute over at the door. My question is, why did the photojournal not interview the person that was standing there? That saw everything. The they interviewed other people. Why didn't they interview the one person that saw it all?
Is that your only question tonight, here?
Pardon me?
Is that your only question?
No.
Okay, I'll wait till you get done and then I'll answer.
The second thing is, I watch it on Facebook, so, take Facebook what it is, but, people want to get the township into Vermilion. That's what they want. Now, Herb and I lived in Brownhill. This happened between 1958 and 1962. Vermilion took over a portion of Brownhill. They promised us water, sewer, and great roads. What do we get? Nothing. Zero. Just go down, okay, take my son David's road, for instance, Brownhill Station Road. Go down that road, and honestly, if I don't get a ticket on that road, I'll be surprised, because I'm going left of center everywhere there is. I mean, every single road, almost, in the whole city can't compare with our road department. What do they have to offer me except more taxes? Nothing. Vermilion cannot give us anything. We now have our own fire department, and they were ripping us off on that before. Why, we have our own ambulance, which I use monthly. Good grief. And that's why I'm saying this, because who knows how long I'll be here. But, you know, we have everything that we need in this township. We don't need to go to Vermilion. We don't need anything from Vermilion. Nothing. We need to get our building back. End of conversation.
First, the photojournal is not part of the government. They're a private entity. They can write and do whatever they want. I have absolutely no say in what they do. As far as the investigation into what went on in the hallway, obviously the executive session that we're going to be going into tomorrow at the prosecutor's office is to investigate that. I did receive an email from a resident that says, we're not doing anything. Well, we are doing things. We're constantly doing things, but we don't advertise it before we get the results. So we're still having the conversation. I watched the video too. There are concerns that I have, and I don't think the whole story's been told yet. So to the folks out on Facebook land and wherever else, wait till the decision has been determined before you criticize the actions of this board, because we are working on it. And
Oh, I'm not criticizing
no,
you
no,
guys.
I was just saying generally to the public. You're allowed to ask the question here, absolutely. And I don't mind people bringing it up. It allows us the opportunity to answer the questions. And this is one of the questions I wanted to answer. So, and then I believe that our township should be our township. I would like to see our building department back as well. I think the gentlemen on either side of me want it back as well. But there is a process that we have to go through. There is a contract that was put in place that we need to discuss, and we will discuss that shortly in new business. And you'll learn some new things about that very shortly. So I think that answers everything. And as you heard tonight, Joe is working on your other questions from last month. And I wanted me to put it in writing so that we've got it as a record so that you have it. So with that, we're gonna move on into the open to the audience. Rob Dunn, 12809 Cherry Road, you're next up, sir.
Rob Dunn, 12809 Cherry Road. I know you guys all know me. I've been here many times. First, I applaud you guys for finally getting Bennett out of here. That's the best thing that happened to this township. Anybody that comes here all the time knows it's not the first time he's done it. He's done it to me. He's done it to other township residents. He's even told township residents in the parking lot that he runs this township. So it's more than time. March 6, 2024, you guys were all here and seeing it. He was being gavelled by the chairman and refused to sit down and come to order like he was told. And he followed me into the parking lot and tried it again. He charged the podium. Don was here, you guys were all here and seen it. And then afterwards admitted, he screwed up. I think his words were a little bit more choice than that, but that's what he does. April 17th, 2024, I was in a court hearing. He did it again. The judge had to tell Mr. Bennett to step back and sit down. The guy doesn't believe that rules apply to him. He doesn't care. May 13th, 2025, he did it to one of my witnesses that is a neighbor of mine that is going to go into court and testify. And he threatened him and tried to harass him until the gentleman hung up the phone on him, told him, don't call me again. That's some of the facts behind Bennett. I know the Vermilion Inquirer is never going to put that in there. She looks for her own opinion, makes her facts, whatever. I want to talk about some of the accomplishments. For people that don't come to these meetings all the time, they need to understand that Mr. Baxter didn't ask for the job. He was appointed by you guys and asked to step in and fix problems that were created by the past administration, the past zoning inspector, who destroyed this township, in my opinion, and didn't do things right, didn't even know the Ohio Revised Code applied to him and his job at the time. Mr. Baxter has stepped in and assisted township residents, helped working on getting ditches and drainage issues fixed. The roads are fantastic. Steve does a phenomenal job on that. Fire department's amazing. These guys are great. But he stepped in and helped out. He's fixing things. He's actually doing what he said he was going to do. We can't ask for more than that. He's working on helping put together a volunteer group to help out residents, elderly people, people that are less fortunate, make repairs at their house that they can't afford. The past administrator and zoning inspectors never did any of that. I'm getting tired of people with their own agendas putting out false information and trying to bash somebody that's actually working for us. In my opinion, I know last year Roger Scott nominated Cliff German for Resident of the Year. I think Mr. Baxter should be Resident of the Year this year. Everything that he has done has proven he's here for the township residents. Somebody recently told me he's not a people person. He's a people's person that stands up for the residents and fights back. And he doesn't care if it's the county prosecutor that's trying to take advantage of residents or the city or whoever it is. He's gonna stand up for you. That's exactly who we need in here as a township zoning inspector administrator. Bringing the building department back, phenomenal idea. In case people forgot, and the photojournal actually did an article about it. The reason it left is because Bob Kurtz got caught double dipping and doing inspections that he was not licensed to even do. And then he resigned. What, so he wouldn't go to jail? Building department's coming back. That's the best thing we can do. Generates revenue. Generates revenue for the township. We're not losing any money, we're gaining. Not only that, but we actually can control what's being built in the township and how it's being done. You can't ask for a better decision than that. I think Mr. Baxter needs applause and recognition, awards, a raise, whatever you gotta do. He deserves it. And I applaud you guys for finally kicking Bennett out of here. I just can't wait until the facts come out, because if I understand it right, Mr. Bennett has already admitted that he was the aggressor. Not only that, but he threw a briefcase at him and threatened to kill him? That's a little absurd.
We're at 5 minutes here.
Man needs to be kicked out of here.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Next on the list is Tom Kuckemeyer, 124 Grand Harbor. Tom?
Good evening. Tom Crookmeyer, 124 Grand Harbor. In the executive session to the chair, I just want to caution the chair and the trustees, maybe just be a little bit careful when you make comments about we need new blood, like to replace Mr. Dean. That's just a slippery, maybe not politically correct. It's just something for you guys to discuss. You know, I mean, I don't know how Mr. Dean feels about it, but you know, just be careful is my suggestion to the chair and to the trustees. And then the other issue is, you know, unfortunately, the Ohio Department of Transportation and Violence in the Workplace, the first one there is hitting and shoving, and I take it that you guys are going to investigate it, and then we'll see what actually happens. But I just wanted to point that out, that it's number one with the Ohio Department of Transportation, Ohio in general. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. I will only answer to the no position in this government is a birthright. Everybody should serve a term or two and move on. That's my personal opinion. Just because you have this job doesn't mean you get to keep this job. We saw that with the last election. We will have a new trustee in January because the people decide. And this board the residents of this township put their faith in the trustees to make right choices for the boards. And having new, fresh perspectives on our BZA and our zoning commission is always a plus in my book. So, and then for whatever reasons, if people want to come and go, that's fine. And I commend Mr. Dean as Mr. Johnson did. He knows rural water better than anybody in the township, flat out. He's still doing that part of the job. And I have no problem with that part of the job. But sometimes a little change is a good thing. I'm gonna finish the open to the audience, and if you wanna make some editorial on the end, we can do that. Next on the list is Mr. Bill By, 12117 Westlake Road. Mr. By, you have 5 minutes.
In regards to the comments that were made about new blood, younger people, more capable of using technology and so forth, I know for a fact it was extremely offensive to Mr. Dean. He was very, very hurt over it. I think it's incredibly unprofessional to make those comments. He had told the secretary that he would continue in that role. Supposedly, that wasn't conveyed. I wish Ms. Sauer all the best of luck in that position. But I think a professional response to his tenure and his leaving should have been done. Otherwise, you've frankly offended a valuable member of the township. I've got a couple documents in front of me, and I'll be more than happy to leave those with you. So if you know, if you'd like. And one is from the Ohio Department of Administrative Services, and this is the state of Ohio's prohibition against threats and acts of violence. And I've highlighted, I guess, the points that I think are pertinent. But intimidation, harassment, abuse, control, or coercion, which involve or affect state employees, or which occur on state property, will not be tolerated. Violation of this policy by a state employee may lead to disciplinary action up to and including termination. Okay? That comes directly from the Ohio Department of Administrative Services. Mr. Kookmeyer had the ODOT's handbook, no tolerance policy, and which echoes this. I also have a document here provided by the National Safety Congress. And summation of that is workplace violence and threats are considered such a hazard. When an employer becomes aware of the threat, which you have become aware of the threat, they're put on notice of a potential risk. Ignoring the risk could lead to liability. So terminating an employee who has made a credible threat is a necessary action to fulfill these obligations. You guys have been put on notice. It's well documented that Mr. Baxter has a short fuse. It's been documented. We all know it. We've seen it. I call on the right thing to do as you go into executive session. Consider the fact that the state of Ohio and many departments has concluded that there's a zero tolerance policy. When you put your hands on it, like in the ODOT booklet, it specifically points out shoving as a violation and a reason for termination. You have to consider the state of Ohio, large departments have already looked into this, and I hope you follow their lead on this. Because you're on notice, you know that it's happened. If it happens again, you're exposing the whole township to potential liability. Thank you.
Mr. Vike, I have a copy of the rules. I'd like to give you a copy. I am going to respond right now.
Yep.
As you can imagine, I've spent a number of hours on this. At the beginning of the year, we passed the Vermilion Township Board of Trustees meeting rules. The trustees voted on these rules. I draw your attention to rule number 8. Rules of decorum for trustees, fiscal officers, department heads, and all guests. That's pretty much everybody in the room. All members and guests shall act in a professional and respectful manner towards each other at all times. When the board meeting is in session, the following rules of decorum shall be observed by all present at the meeting. No one shall make impertinent, unduly repetitive, slanderous, or profane remarks, threaten any other person, use abusive language, or engage in any other unlawful or disorderly conduct that disrupts, disturbs, or otherwise impedes the orderly conduct of the official government meeting. Disturbing a public meeting is a criminal offense. All personal communication devices must be rendered silent during the meeting. And it goes on and on. But it says at the very end, unlawful behavior in accordance with ORC 50509 and ORC 291712, respectively. Those departmental regulations are nice. Our rules and the laws that we cite are force of law. When we are in executive session across the hall, this meeting is still in session. Everything that happens in this building, whether we're present in the room or present in the executive session, is occurring during a meeting. A violation of 50509 is a cause to have you detained for the duration of the meeting. And had we known about it, we would have intervened. Of course, we were in executive session. But while those directives from those various departments that everybody's mentioned are nice, our rules are clear. And as long as I'm sitting in this chair, we're going to follow our rules, and we're going to follow ORC 50509 and 291712, which is disturbing a public meeting. If it comes to it where we can't trust anyone to behave themselves in this room while we're across the hall, we will go back to the way we used to do it, where the trustees would say everybody has to leave the building, shut the door, and I don't want to put everybody out in the cold during a winter month. I'd rather be comfortable in here while we talk in there. But moving forward, I'm going to be watching this rule like a hawk, and we're not going to have a repeat of whatever happened. As to what happened, not going to comment. It's under investigation, It's still under investigation, and until I have a final determination from all the bosses and all the people involved, we're not gonna comment on it. But that does not mean we're not doing anything. So, with that, we'll go on down the list, and the last one on the list is Ken Berkins, 6715 West Lake Road. Mr. Berkins.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate that. Well, in light of, I'm a new resident of the township, I came out of the city of Vermilion here just recently. I have a lot of, thank you, I have a lot of concerns about the, overall governmental issues pertaining to the city of Vermilion Township. I have a lot of interest in this type of thing. Obviously, I had extreme amount of concerns with the publicity of this particular event relative to township governance and the way that's, that this has been handled. Some of it was out of ignorance, but I will say that I do believe that this type of thing that occurs, reflects on everything, even those of us who live within the township. Okay, I think it's very important that we conduct all of our governance in a very civil fashion. Apparently, for whatever reason, and I don't know the personalities or anything, I did a little bit of research though, and to your point about your own rules, which I wasn't able to find in my research, I did look into the Erie County employee handbook, which prefaces a lot of the same issues, hitting, shoving, any kind of profane, communications to other employees. I mean, it is all taken care of under that. So, and it should be meted out, the fact that our government employees act with a proper level of decorum, regardless of who is at fault. Okay, so I just wanted to say that, the onus is on you folks. I'm glad to hear that you're going to be handling that in the fashion that you are in the morning, and hopefully it's going to be something of the past, and that we as citizens don't have to deal with this type of an uproar in the governance of this nice little township that I'm now a part of. Thank you.
Sure, thank you. Mr. Rowe, you had something you wanted to comment on before I make my final comment?
I would just like to make a statement, Mr. Chairman, and you would have to clarify that, because I heard it a couple times. I just want you to verify with clarity. I think when you made a comment in the last trustee meeting about Mr. Dean and the reference to new blood, I think that my understanding was that actually came from Mr. Dean. Is that accurate?
Something of that nature was said, yes.
Okay.
And my comment, for the record, was not about Mr. Dean and new blood. That's a misstatement in the press.
Yes.
My statement of new blood applies to everybody. Everybody.
Yeah.
Because change is needed all the time.
Yeah.
Otherwise you don't evolve. So, please continue.
And both of the board chairmen, and I can speak because they have said this to me, that they do want new blood, if you will, younger people to get involved, because all of those board chairmen are getting up in age, and anyone in this audience on any of these boards can ask them. They want their boards more involved than they have been, and they would like to have people coming up behind them, because some of them are getting up in age, and they want to see when they do leave. And that is part of what your design of the plot committee it was developed for. And the two board chairmen and the vice chairman of those two boards are ecstatic about the plot committee, because they want to know that when they do decide to leave, that the people coming behind them will know what they're doing and be able to operate the board efficiently. And I think that was what the positive meeting, the tone that came out of that meeting, which I attended the plot meeting. And there's another plot meeting in December, which will be announced later.
Sure, you got anything? I would only add that we do a lot of good things, and it's the troublesome things like this that get in the way of anybody recognizing all the good things we do. We've got the Stanley Road drainage project moving forward. Not a mention anywhere on the internet, in the local papers, nowhere. You know, there are things that we're doing, but we've gotta get out of our own shadow to show the residents that what we're doing matters, and get past all the small, little stuff, the rumors, the innuendos, the misinformation that gets thrown out there. So, with that said, I'm gonna move the meeting forward. We're done with the open to the audience portion, and I'd like to talk more, but we're just gonna keep going. Old business, new business. We have.
Damage to Sassafras.
Damage to Sassafras and Cemetery Road. Joe, you already mentioned in your report. The conversation you had, can you elaborate?
So I spoke with Michael Lowe from National, who is a third-party vendor that works for Not So Bright Speed. And he is not even in Ohio, he's over West Virginia. He was following up, he's reaching out to the guy who is over Ohio to see about trying to facilitate something. I spoke with another gentleman yesterday. He was trying to secure permits for Brightspeed and could not because we have a moratorium on their permits. Again, he didn't understand exactly what was happening, so we went through the whole spiel. I brought him up to speed, and like everyone else, he doesn't know who to communicate with to facilitate any type of solution. So we sit and we wait.
Okay. Well, I'm still good with not giving them any more work until
Yeah.
if that's wrong, then I'll own that one. Old business, discussion of holiday shutdown 12/19 through January 5th, 2026. Again, this will be for the permitting processes for zoning and building and for the fiscal officer. If you need them, call the numbers on the website. There will not be anybody here in the building other than the fire department, who are here all the time. So, new business, interim appointments is needed. I'm gonna pass on this one now because we haven't determined anything. Discussion of township sidewalks, Mr. Earl, you put that on?
I do, I just wanna mention, Mr. Chairman, that I would like to give direction to our administrator to start seeking estimates for the sidewalks for the township, building here.
Okay.
Obviously, we're not gonna get the concrete poured now, but,
No.
you know,
It's
in
January, it's
preparation
cold.
for it, yes.
We called that one a few months ago, but, moving on, anything else on the sidewalks, Kurt? No, all right, good.
Chair, may I?
Yes, sir.
I would like to, for us to entertain doing this job in-house, if at all possible.
Put it together, figure out what it costs, and then we'll put that with the estimates, and we'll see what can be done. New business, discussion of building department transition contract agreement with the city of Vermilion. This is the one where we sat and waited. I've got Mayor Forthover's letter, I've got the contract, I've got several problems with it, but, the contract definitely does say 90 days. And I don't have a problem with the 90 days, as you, last month, remember, I was like, let's take our time, let's go through this by the pace and by the numbers. I had talked to the service director some time ago, and there was no contract, but now there is a contract. And I know that Mr. Baxter's had a similar conversation with somebody in the city. And my problem is that our fiscal officer didn't have this contract in the records anywhere. And in the contract, it's passed by a city resolution and then by a township resolution. The trouble is, no such resolution exists. I had our fiscal officer review the minutes, and they did pass a motion to accept it for 1 year, but there was never a formal resolution drawn up.
Correct.
This was, to be fair to Stephanie for not having it, literally the week she started. So we don't have a record of the resolution. It doesn't change that what has happened for the last few years has happened. It's been an agreement, but the contract has, it should have been done right, and I blame the previous trustees for this one, full out, because they should have dotted all the Ts, or dotted all the Is and crossed all the Ts, and this just wasn't there. I'm happy with the February 23rd date. It gives time to get everything set up. I know that I spoke with our township administrator. He said that the Department of Commerce provided some interesting information. Joan, I'll let you roll with this one, because it's your thunder to.
So, in investigating all of the parameters of having a building department, one of which is you must be certified through the Board of Building Standards in the state of Ohio. And if you don't have a building department, you must also fill out the paperwork and close that down. As of today, we are a certified building department in good standing with the state of Ohio and the Ohio Department of Commerce. Still, was never not in effect. So,
That works to our favor, at
yes,
least.
it does. It means it's ours.
It's still good, but Joe did check. But we honor the contract as it's written, because that's what we do. Any other discussion, Kurt, Don?
On that.
Yes. Okay, that's all I got for that. Opening on is done, old, new business is done. Moving to incidental business, announcement of the next meeting, regular meeting will be at 6:30 on the 17th of December, 2025. The trustees will attend a statutorily required meeting with the Erie County Engineers tomorrow at 9 a.m. at the county building in Sandusky. The plot committee meeting will be here at 6 p.m. on the 11th. As earlier mentioned, the township offices will be closed beginning the 19th through to the January 5th, 2026. And I'm guessing on this last executive session, you don't have necessarily to do it tonight? Or you do?
Correct, no.
Okay, so we'll leave that. I don't think I have anything else. Is there anything else to come before the board? Hearing none, if there's no objection, the chair declares this meeting to be adjourned at 7:40 exactly. Thank you all for coming. Yes, sir.